All right, so once again, I'm live, coming live. A lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. Interesting day for me as always. Um, been exactly, I would say 6 years today. Mom passed away on April 4th, 2018. And, you know, this is one of the first years I probably didn't even think about it that much, as usual. But then again, sometimes I just sit there and say that you know, it's just so much going on. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I'm kind of glad you didn't have to live through this. Um, so I'm kind of glad you didn't have to. You know, I'm like, trying to kind of like, what it is, what it is. Let's see. Yo, yeah, yeah. I'm just like, this is crazy. All right. Well, anyway, let me get started. So, crazy that I was talking to them the other day, and hey, what's up, man? What's
Yo,
up,
what's the
Chak?
word? What's the word? Can you hear me? Peace, peace.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I was supposed to be on with Dry Bones, and then, but something going on with Blog Talk. I guess the communication there. I don't know what's going on. So that's
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah, hey, man. trying to shut us up. But you ain't gonna shut me up right now yet.
Man, that's the game, man. What you got on our platform today, man? What's the topic, Nick?
Well, I got a couple of topics to bring up here. All right, Frank, what's up?
Yo.
The first topic I'm bringing up is, remember I had a conversation with you the other day, and I said that the U.S. said they were so offended with what was going on with those tragic things that happened in Gaza. I told you that. Well, what's the first thing I always say, Shaq? If you want to stop anything, you cut the head of the snake off. Well, when I play this video, they can't be cutting the head of the snake off because that's what they're doing. Watch this.
On the brink of approving a sale of up to 50 American-made F-15 fighter jets to Israel amid its ongoing war with Hamas. Now, the deal is expected to be worth $18 billion. News4Jack's reporter Brianna Andrews spoke with a former F-15 jet pilot about the capabilities of these jets and the potential dangers.
If you've never seen or even heard of an F-15 fighter jet before, this is it. It's what Randy Reed, a former F-15 jet pilot, calls one of the United States military's most versatile aircrafts.
Has the ability to deliver a lot of weapons and at high precision. So in the regard of getting the effects of putting weapons on a desired target, it's incredibly effective.
As many as 50 of these fighter jets could be sold to Israel if the Biden administration approves it. It's an $18 billion deal, which would be considered one of the largest U.S. foreign military sales to Israel to date since the Israel-Hamas war began on October 7th, 2023.
And we know there are some legislators that are kind of pushing back on this deal. Why do you think that is?
Anytime that you're selling U.S. technology to somebody outside of our borders, you lose control of it. And that technology can then be spread, maybe to people you don't want having it.
Some legislators are also calling for the U.S. to restrict military aid to Israel until more humanitarian aid gets sent to Gaza to protect civilians. Gaza's death toll surpassed more than 32,000, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. And the Israeli military says more than 250 soldiers have been killed since the war began. If the Biden administration does approve the sale of F-15 jets, they will be built from scratch and will not be delivered to Israel for at least 5 years. Brianna Andrews, Channel 4, the local station.
What y'all think about that?
It tells you, damn. It tells you that Joe Biden and them are full of shit. And it tells you that so now it's getting to the point where, they're lying, and now it's like deception. They see deceiving you because they're talking about they want this war to end, and they what's his name is so they want a ceasefire, and what's his name is such the bad guy, and Yahoo and all this bullshit. Yeah, they're sitting in the damn jets over there. Fighter jets, so they honestly it sounds like they want Israel in control of that. They want that the natural resources, that gas and the oil over there. That's what it sounds like to me. They're pushing more harder on. Isn't that an easier way to get in control by having fighter jets and shit, or no?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All that shit is all game. I told you a while back, ain't nothing but all game. Talking about, oh yeah, we condemn Benjamin at Yahoo. Cut your money off. If you ain't cutting money off, you ain't doing that. That's what I say.
That's a fact.
Chak, what do you think about this?
Are we tired of the government lying to us, man? Isn't this getting kind of old,
No. We like getting lied to. We like getting lied to. That's our favorite part of the game. Long as we getting some pussy or getting some money, I guess nobody care. I've been around here for a long time. Now watch this. I'm gonna play this video for you. Media lying their ass off.
The future of your business is here. With Wix, you get advanced AI.
President Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today.
This is the first time the two have spoken directly since a deadly strike killed 7 World Central Kitchen workers in Gaza. Now, the president used this conversation to condemn what he described as the unacceptable nature of that strike and the worsening humanitarian situation in the war-torn enclave. Secretary of State Antony Blinken addressed just how dire things have become.
Despite important steps that Israel has taken to allow assistance into Gaza, the results on the ground are woefully insufficient and unacceptable. 100% of the population in Gaza knows acute levels of food insecurity. 100% of the population is in need of humanitarian assistance. And those working heroically to provide that assistance are doing so in great peril to their own lives.
CBS News intelligence and national security reporter Olivia Gazis is in Washington. So by talking about the president's call with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, because we heard the secretary discussing that, is there anything that you heard in there that might mark a shift in U.S. policy when it comes to how the U.S. interacts with Israel?
Absolutely. So, yes, the secretary started out by detailing that just concluded between the president and Prime Minister Netanyahu. And the contours that Blinken offered suggested that it was a tense call, that the president delivered some stark and concrete messages about the Israeli government's policy toward Gaza. He said that the overall humanitarian situation was unacceptable, that the U.S. needs to see specific, concrete, and measurable steps announced immediately by the Israeli government to address humanitarian harm and the safety of aid workers in Gaza, and that U.S. policy with respect to Gaza would be determined by Israel's immediate actions in response to these humanitarian issues. Later, when he was pressed during the question and answer section, the secretary said, if we don't see the changes that we need to see, there will be changes in our own policy. He did not specify what those might be, but obviously the most prominent options being discussed publicly is the conditioning of military aid to Israel, something that Democratic allies of the president have begun to call for in Congress. That would be to condition or to slow the pace of military aid that the U.S. continues to supply to the Israeli government. We don't know that that is the policy change that the president suggested and that the secretary today alluded to, but that is among the options that we know have been publicly discussed.
And Olivia, what's interesting is President Biden has called for an investigation into how the IDFs, attacked the World Central Kitchen staff and the driver, but hasn't called for an independent probe. I get the sense that behind the scenes privately, this was a tough call with a lot of pressure placed from Biden onto Netanyahu, who himself is facing political pressure locally in Israel. So did you notice a difference in anything the secretary said about that conversation that's apart from what we've heard previously?
Absolutely. And the press actually asked this of Blinken, too. They said, what changed in the last 48 hours since this attack took place? There seems to be a shift in tone from the United States government, which initially had expressed grief and condolences that this tragedy had happened, and now seems to be taking a much tougher stance on the Israeli government, saying that concrete and measurable steps need to be announced immediately in order to affect the flow of humanitarian aid that still continues to suffer from bottlenecks and other complications on the ground in Gaza. I think that you heard Blinken say that he was outraged, that he was focused on the people and the personnel involved in that incident, but that he has consistently said that the humanitarian aid situation in Gaza is unacceptable, that the Israeli government needs to do more. And yes, it is true that the prime minister, that Benjamin Netanyahu, is under increasing political pressure. One of the war cabinet members, Benny Gantz, has recently called for fresh elections to take place early in September of this year rather than in October of 2026. We've seen thousands of people come out to protest. And so we'll see whether this is a kind of final straw on the camel's back to see whether there's a marked change in the way that aid continues to get into Gaza.
Well, let's talk about aid to Ukraine, because we also learned today that NATO leaders plan to play a bigger role with security assistance to Ukraine. Blinken obviously talked about the United States and our obligations. Talk to us about what that assistance is going to look like from the rest of the NATO partners and the significance of it.
Sure. The thing he started out by stressing was that the $60 billion supplemental that has been languishing in Congress absolutely needs to get passed. That will be the most important material help that would benefit the Ukrainians in their fight against the Russian invasion right now. But he also said that there were active discussions about support for Ukraine going forward among the NATO alliance. He said that they are working together to build out a force for the future. There are more than 30 countries that have signed bilateral agreements with the Ukrainians, and the U.S. is working on its own bilateral agreement with Kyiv. So we'll look to see when that one is concluded. There are continuing discussions leading up to an additional NATO summit that's going to take place here in Washington in July, that the Ukrainians are also expected to see how their membership towards NATO makes progress. He did not come down on whether he supports the NATO taking up more responsibility for Ukraine aid, but we'll see where those discussions go as the weeks and months progress.
Olivia Garza, it's great to have you walk us through what was just announced there by the U.S. Secretary of State.
Ever.
All right, Frank, Chak, what do you think about this? Sound like a lot of lying going on.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, pretty much, dog.
Hey, they've been lying to you so long. Like Rashawn Green said, Uncle Biden is such a nice old man while the world is coming around at your feet.
But I'm trying to grasp my brain, right, around anybody that's promoting Joe Biden, man. Like, the condition, either he faking or something ain't right. Why? When any person that's allegedly claimed to be sane, we want to put him as an executive over the executive branch.
That mean they're not sane, man.
I'm just saying. I mean, if everything we see on TV, if it's just a joke or they faking us out, Frank, you know what I'm saying? The way these guys bumbling and stumbling over things, like, who great idea was to put him up as the representation for this so-called nation, United States?
True. Look at the type of policies he's pushing. Look at it, man. This dude. I mean, I guess people don't like money, man, because since this dude's been offered, I know they didn't have less of it, man. Everything is up. Inflation.
Hey, wait a minute, man. Israel getting $18 million in jets. They ain't doing bad.
Well, American people, supposedly.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Somebody eating.
Well, see, that lets you know.
I was in the store earlier, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the store earlier tonight. Hold on. Hey, what's up? Hold on. Yeah, go ahead and talk, Frank.
Man, this dude, it's like, what type of policy he pushing, and then, see, the thing is, these liberals are stupid, and the Democrats are dumb too, because these policies affect liberal and Democrat states even damn near just as even more. If you think about it, you see what I'm saying? Because these are the states that they're going to implement them on hardest on, and they're going to implement them on the most. I don't understand these people out here, these so-called black people out here in California. I don't get it. I really don't get it. In New York, California, these people that are in these Democrat states, I just don't get it, man. I don't see why they're not the most fed up that they could ever be. You see what I'm saying? But see, and the thing is how you could push for this dude It's just crazy. You see what I'm saying? I guess because it was Kamala Harris, the illusion of inclusion, she's supposed to be so-called black. I don't know. But, you know, it's a damn shame, man. You see what I'm saying? They're pushing for all the things that are like anti...
Wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. Hold on, stay right there. Let me ask you a question. Have you heard Kamala Harris or anybody that you just named talking about this $18 million in fighter jets that's going to Israel? Have you heard anything about it? No.
See, damn. That says a lot right there. That says a lot.
I can't find the video, man, but we need to play the video of the dude that was calling out all the names that's in certain sectors of the United States government that has dual citizenship to Israel. They have American citizenship and Israel citizenship, and they are Jewish people. That's why we are in the predicament we're in. They're not pro-America. They're pro-non-American, put it like that.
Let me play this, because something happened in the University of Texas. I've been telling my good friend Dawson, if you got DEI job, you don't got no job. You just a fucking pawn in the game. So this happened in the University of Texas. If you DEI, you might be done.
Right now, the impact of the statewide DEI ban is being felt at the University of Texas. DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Within the last few hours, we've learned that UT is laying off a number of employees who'd previously held DEI-related positions on campus. This comes a week after Republican State Senator Brandon Creighton sent a warning letter to university system administrators about the state's expectations for higher education and institutions to comply with Senate Bill 17, which is the law that bans DEI initiatives at public universities. KVU's Darrenisha Heron is standing by live on UT's campus tonight. Darrenisha, you're hearing that a large number of layoffs may be tied to this DEI ban.
That's right, Brian. And I spoke with a few students here at the University of Texas, and they tell me this has come as a shock to not only them, but those staff members. According to our media partners, the Awesome American Statesman, at least 60 employees will be fired effective at the end of this semester. Now, this all has to do with the diversity, equity, and inclusion that has been banned at universities across Texas. Now, this is because of SB 17. Now, the Division of Campus and Community Engagement is one of many that had a name change earlier in the year due to SB 17. The university plans to redistribute some of the programs in the DCEE. In a letter sent out to the community, University President Jay Harsel wrote in part, quote, "This means that we will continue to operate many programs with rich histories spanning decades, such as disability services, the UT charter schools, and volunteer and community programs," end quote. The letter went on to say funding used to support DEI across campus prior to the SB 17's effective date will be redeployed to support teaching and research. As part of this reallocation, associates and assistant deans who were formerly focused on DEI will return to their full-time faculty positions. Now, I've done multiple stories on SB 17, and students have been struggling. Students a part of diversity organizations have been struggling to find funding, as well as some of their annual events have been canceled. I'm going to go to a meeting here on campus in just where these students are expected to talk about how they feel about the decision that the university made today. So we'll have that update tonight at 10 on KVU.
UT Austin is reportedly getting ready to lay off as many as 60 employees who were in diversity, equity, and inclusion-related jobs at the university.
It's a byproduct of Senate Bill 17, the state's ban on DEI initiatives at public universities. It comes a week after the state senator who wrote the bill warned university system leaders about not complying with it. KVU's Darrenisha Heron spoke with students about these changes tonight. She joined us now live from campus with more. Darrenisha.
Quita and Brian, students tell me over 1,000 of them got together in a private meeting tonight to talk about how to stop this. Like many of those possibly 60 staff members, they were shocked because everyone was under the impression that these jobs were secure. UT students are mobilizing after learning that some staff members will be fired because of the trickle-down effect of SB 17, which bans diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at public universities.
Honestly, I cried and I was angry. A lot of people are upset. All of my group chats are raging, all of the group me's, all of the slacks, everybody is raging.
They say the people and experiences close to them are being ripped away. According to our partners at the American Statesman, at least 60 staff members who were previously in DEI roles have been notified that their last day is at the end of the semester. In a letter to the UT community, President Jay Harsel wrote in part, quote, "To reduce overlap, we are closing the division of campus and community engagement and redistributing the remaining programs," end quote. That division used to be DEI related, and like similar departments, had to change its name in January because of the new law.
This is just Texas. Texas does not want us here. Texas has never wanted us here.
Christiana McAfee with the Black Student Alliance says a lot of the DEI related jobs are filled with people who look like her.
For most of us Black students, these are our only letters of recommendation. These are the only people that we can get close enough with to build a further relationship with us.
A lot of them were just there for me and gave me a lot of resources and were always there when I was unsure of what to do or if I just wasn't feeling right about something.
Harsel also says staff members whose positions are being eliminated can apply to existing open positions at the university. And just 40 minutes ago, House Speaker Dade Phelan issued a statement on social media saying the DEI ban was meant to, quote, cultivate and an education system that celebrates diversity of thought while also ensuring every student, regardless of their background, has an equal opportunity to succeed, end quote. And he applauds today's action by UT. Now, UT has not confirmed how many staff members will be fired, but I know that the students say they worry that some of the classes that they love will be next to go. They hope that the community will rally behind them. Live at the University of Texas, I'm Darrenisha Heron, KVUE News.
Little good-looking little reporters that they be having nowadays. Yeah.
What you think about that,
Yeah,
man?
I ain't surprised, man. Because like I was just saying, like left policies and like you know, and Democrat policies is, you know, it really affects people, you know, a lot more so in Democrat and liberal states. You see what I'm saying? This is the same like with this. You know, that was pushed. That wasn't, you know, it wasn't pushed to help people. That was pushed to give you the illusion that it was going to help certain, you know, types of, you know what I'm saying, people or whatever the case is, and kind of like single certain type of people out. And look at what happens. You see what I'm saying? You can't trust it, right?
Well, that's part of what's going on in Texas. That's the University of Texas at Austin. Been by there before. It's about an hour outside of San Antonio. Big football, basketball program. Yeah, they did pass. Yeah, Dawson, they passed in 2033. Let's say the real DI. You know, why didn't the media mention this? Well, one reason they didn't mention it, number one, is because these people got laid off. I think about 60 of them got laid off, which is very interesting to me. When you really look at the DEI program, sponsored by BlackRock. Bishop Larry gave us the video on it the other night, Tuesday. BlackRock, the company that controls the world, they gave $1 trillion to Ukraine and to rebuild Ukraine and more. So when you really think about it, this is no surprise. So it what it is. But as I told Dawson many times, you got DEI, you ain't got no real job. Just putting it out there. So, I mean, hey, man, it's what it is, man. I mean, you know, Hope the people get a job, but you have to learn DEI is not a real position. You have to learn that, unfortunately. All right, so
like you said, BlackRock, Vanguard, all them groups, man, them groups ain't no good, man.
Mm-hmm.
So see,
well,
we don't know that because the news. You notice the news will never mention none of these people, right? The news ain't gonna mention no. You ain't gonna get no in-depth fucking investigation about no BlackRock or no Vanguard or no 11 o'clock, Channel 11 News or no Channel 5 News, Fox 11. You ain't gonna never get that. That's by design.
All right, Shaq. The bird flu is back, Shaq. Are you ready? The bird flu is back.
There is growing concern tonight about the continuing spread of the highly contagious bird flu in the U.S. As William Brangham explains, while federal health officials say the risk to humans is low, the virus has now spread to dairy cattle and sickened one person. William?
That's right, Jeff. This strain of bird flu, called H5N1, has been sickening bird flocks across America for a few years now. Millions have been killed to prevent further spread. Yesterday, the country's biggest egg producer halted productions when chickens at one of its facilities got sick. But this virus has also been infecting mammals, most recently dairy cows in 5 different states. This week, a person in Texas tested positive after working with cattle. He's had mild symptoms and is expected to recover. For more on this virus, we are joined again by Jennifer Nuzzo. She runs the Pandemic Center at Brown University's School of Public Health. Jennifer Nuzzo, so good to have you back on the program. Dr. Mandy Cohen, the head of the CDC, says the risk to humans from this virus is low. They're monitoring it, and there's no reason to worry at this point.
All right. Stop right there. Stop right there. Don't be ignorant. I like it. All right, look. That woman is the woman that replaced Anthony Fauci. Pay attention. To let you know.
Is that where you come down?
So I think it's true that the risk to the general public is quite low. And I think it's also important that we continue to monitor this virus to make sure that doesn't change. One thing I do quite worry about is the risk to farm workers, people who would be exposed to the sick animals, because we do know that exposure to sick animals can result in human infection. And we've already seen that now to date in 2 cases in the United States, the most recent one being in a worker that worked with sick cows. So I do worry about protecting farm workers, but for the general public, the risk of contracting this virus is currently low.
Let's talk about that infection. So this was someone who apparently had been working with cattle that had been infected with this bird virus. How should we see that route of infection? Because this does happen every now and then, a widespread infection amongst animals, and it jumps to one human.
Yeah, so we've been tracking this virus for 20 years. And in the last 2 years, I would say, it has become a lot more concerning in terms of the number of species that this virus has shown itself capable of infecting. We've, historically called this a bird flu virus because it has predominantly affected wild birds and domesticated birds. But over the last 2 years, we've really seen the species range that has been affected by this virus grow quite a bit to include mammals. So that's quite alarming. This is also the first time we've seen it in cows. Cows haven't frequently been seen to get influenza A, which is the particular type of influenza virus this one is. So that is also, somewhat new and surprising. But we have in the past seen humans that have had direct contact with sick animals get sick. It doesn't happen all that frequently, but when it does happen, it's quite concerning because in many of these cases, that infection has been quite deadly. Fortunately, in the most recent case, the infection has been quite mild. In fact, the symptoms are a little bit different than what we have typically seen in the past. The sick worker had, conjunctivitis and eye inflammation. And so while we're glad to see a mild infection, we don't yet understand why that is.
So for now, at least, the jumping from a group of animals to one human is one thing. But if it were to go from human to human, that's when it would be really troubling. Is that correct?
The predominant reason that we're worried now is because we're worried that this virus may gain additional functionality and additional ability to infect.
All right, look. Let's pay attention to what's good at, because I just want to show you something. I just want you to go on your, anybody can look this up when they get time. Because, I mean, these videos, I mean, I could play them, but a lot of them longer than normal. But let's just put it, Oregon is trying to pass legislation or trying to tell us if you got a small farm, they want you to shut your farm down, okay? They don't want you to have no big farm. You no small farm. Shut your farm down, whatever, get rid of it. We'll feed you, you know. Yeah, that's right. They don't want to see them anymore. That's right. But Oregon is one of the states. I think Washington State has all got rid of the bar exam too, or something like that. Now, look, I'm going to bring this up. Because, I mean, you know, I'm not even, you know, like, you don't really care about Dr. Phil. Matter of fact, I'm going to play this video for you right here. Shit. So, I guess Dr. Phil or whatever was on. And the public school grading scale in California, I think it is. A is 100 to 84. A B is 84 to 64. A F is 0 to 24. A D is 24 and 44%. And a C is 44 to 64%. Now, I remember back in the day, if you didn't get an A, right, you know, you feel bad. You know, Mom, I wanted to get rid of A. I wanted to get an A, right? Well, guess what? Anybody can get an A now. If it's an 84, I mean, that's easy, right? I mean, 84 to 100 to 84. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, you know, I'm just saying. This is a public school grading scale. But to me, I mean, it is what it is. No child left behind. Everybody get left behind. That's how I look at it. All right. Oregon shuts down small farm. No. Big dairy uses government to stop small farms. Here we go.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning at Godspeed Hollow Farm, southwest of Portland, Oregon. Sarah King's cows, Milan and Elsa, are ready to be milked. Sarah's dairy is small, but it keeps her busy, and she has a waiting list of 50 customers for her milk.
So our farm operates under the premise of biodynamic or holistic management practices. So we're really all about incorporating both the environment and its elements into the way that we manage the day-to-day operations of the farm. What we're doing here is the exact same thing that humans have been doing for hundreds and thousands of years on small farms.
But the economics of Godspeed Hollow Farm may no longer be sustainable because the Oregon government wants to treat this little dairy like it's a large dairy.
What I have to do is electrical, drainage, plumbing work, install septic, the list is endless. And all told, you know, we could be $15,000, but depending on the level of requirement they have, it's going to be $100,000 or more.
Last year, the Oregon Department of Agriculture reinterpreted its regulations regarding CAFOs, confined animal feeding operations. Typically, CAFOs house hundreds or thousands of animals. Because they generate tons of manure and thousands of gallons of wastewater, the government requires them to maintain infrastructure to prevent environmental damage. Now, the government is trying to apply these same infrastructure regulations to Sarah's 3-cow, environmentally sustainable dairy farm.
My customers think that it's ludicrous. They like how we operate. They want us to continue to operate at the size and scale and in the format we do today, and they don't think that there's any reason I should be being compared to a larger scale operation and have to change everything we're doing just to comply with a regulation that doesn't make sense.
Sarah's cows rotate through pastures, which allows them to continually eat fresh grass. Once they rotate to a new plot, their manure nourishes the previous one so that the grass can regrow and the cycle can begin anew.
Our animals have access to the outdoors all the time, but when it's gross and raining like it is today, they also have free access at any moment to the barn where they can enjoy breakfast, they can sleep, they can hang out if they want to, but that's only at their discretion. They can absolutely go back outside and be on the pasture at any point that they want to.
For years, the Department of Agriculture did not apply its rules for CAFOs to farms like Sarah's. So why did the agency change its tune? Protectionism. According to its own communications, it received concerns from the Oregon dairy industry that small dairies were operating without CAFO permits. The agency further stated that the small dairies enjoyed an unfair competitive advantage by not being subject to the requirements.
I'm frustrated by this requirement on us because we're not big. We don't want to be big. It's not who we are. It's not the customer base that we're serving. And I'm flattered if they think that we have a competitive advantage with my 3 Disney princess cows over here, but we're not competition.
Sarah's friend, Christine Anderson,
slow
is
down
the
for
one
a
who
minute.
introduced her to
Hello,
sustainable
man.
dairy farming.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
What you mean what's going on? They trying to shut down the small farms. What are you talking about?
And what authority do they have? The agriculture,
You're
they're
not
going through the agriculture?
not following the permit. That's what they say. You're not following FDA regulations. You got a problem with it?
You're not following FDA regulations, huh? See what I'm talking about, Frank?
Overreach, baby. Overreach.
That's wild, man.
Overreach, underreach, reaching inside, nigga. Get your hand out my pocket type shit. You know what I'm talking about?
What they saying is, Shaq, that you got an advantage because you're not following the regulations. But no, like she said, they're not trying to be a big dairy. They just got their small little farm. They don't want you to have a small farm no more. Give me all the big farm and give it to Bill Gates. That's what they're telling you.
But see, this is becoming a major problem. Even like I say in places like medical, like even with the avocado, the people that did the natives in Mexico, they grow the avocados. I mean, this is their main crop that they grow and profit from. Big corporations come in, man, and they allegedly sabotage, and you know what I'm talking about? We was talking about this on the show last year. Remember, we was on the show talking about this.
They want you to buy this.
Right.
They want you to buy what they tell you. Let me tell you something. Matter of fact, the guy was just over my house not too long ago. And you know, he gonna do the inspection of the car. So he was saying, yeah, man, I took the children, my grandkids to Golden Corral. I said, how many grandkids you got? He like, I got 5 great grands and 3 grandchildren. I said, okay. And he was like, man, you know what's so crazy? He was like, it's cheaper to eat at Golden Corral for the 4 grandkids I had than it is to eat at McDonald's. He said, yesterday I took the kids to McDonald's because they're on spring break, right? Mm-hmm. And he said that, you know, boy, chicken nuggets, fries, et cetera, came at $40. He said he took him and his 4 grandkids out to eat.
$40?
Said $40. He said he went to Golden Corral this evening. Him, the 4 grandchildren, they spent $38. He said it's cheaper to eat at Golden Corral than it is McDonald's. That's how you know we got a fucking problem.
But you know what? I was watching my boy Cutting. He played a video, right? You may have heard this, seen it. It was a guy, and this is a white dude. It was a customer, older white guy, and it was a so-called black guy that was working at the Burger King, right? I think working. The dude went in for breakfast, right? and the breakfast was like came to $8, like a couple of, sausage bits, whatever. Came like to
Big Mac
$8 or
costs
something.
$18.
Huh?
Big Mac meal some place called $18.
But look, this breakfast like it came like $8 or something, right? The old man arguing him that it should have been $11. Now this is the old man, the customer, is arguing with the dude, arguing that it should be more than what it would cost, right? And with the cashier, which is the black gentleman, was telling them, hey, we have a
grab his
discount, we
ass,
got a
throw him in the
promotion
back.
going.
Grab him and throw him in the back.
But look, the dude came back with a gun and put the gun in the face. The older white gentleman. Like, so it's something is going on, man, with people in general, G. Like, I don't know what it is, Frank.
Did I tell you people are sick? People are loony. They're losing their goddamn mind. I told you that.
Gee, boy. Could you imagine that, Frank? Now, this could be a ploy, it could be, I don't know, could be a stunt they playing on us. I don't know.
All right.
I gotta
Frank, you're in California, right?
I gotta look up more. I gotta look up more in that story, Shaq. I want to check that out.
Yeah. You might want to Google. Yeah, I don't know what you Googled. Yeah, I think it was at a Burger King somewhere.
Texas. I played something in Texas. Now I'm coming to California, Frank. This got to be a major psyop. There was an Easter Sunday host in California where these thieves was able to break into a storage facility and stole $30 million. How the fuck did that happen?
You're right.
Whoa, hold on. What?
We have breaking news involving one of the largest cash heists in U.S. history. $30 million stolen from a facility in Silmar.
The massive burglary, first reported by the LA Times, is believed to have unfolded on Easter Sunday at the unmanned facility where cash from businesses across the area is handled and stored. Several sources tell KTLA the heist took place here at this Garda World facility in Silmar. We have reached out to the company for confirmation, but have not heard back. The LA Times reports the burglars were able to breach the building as well as the safe where the money was stored. Sources tell the Times the burglary crew broke through the roof of the facility to gain access to the vault. You can see in video shot by Sky 5 a hole in the side of the facility that has been boarded up. The massive heist was not discovered until the vault was opened on Monday. It is unclear why no alarm was triggered. The FBI and the LAPD are handling the investigation, but are releasing.
Inside job. There you go. Inside job. Ain't no way in hell this went down.
Hey, I wonder how much is the insurance for like lost and recovery for them from their facility.
You know, me and Wes was talking about this earlier, man. They could have did this for their own insurance purposes.
The unmanned storage facility, yo, where cash value was in there, dog. Right, I work in security, dog. I used to work in security.
Hey, man. Hey, yo, this is a funny shit, man. I like, come on, man. I mean, you can't. I mean, you playing my leg again, man. Now watch this. Here goes something else that happened in LA. Watch this.
Hey,
man,
look, Easter Sunday. Wait.
The
Easter
woman
Sunday.
accused of randomly smashing car.
Wait, hold on. Before you play that, Easter Sunday it's 3/31, dude.
3/31, baby.
33, baby. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Telling you, bro.
Yeah.
Windshields with a brick in West LA. Tarzana in Burbank is now being detained.
Surveillance cameras caught the bizarre crimes. A woman calmly walking up to cars, then violently smashing the glass. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade joins us live from Burbank, where she spoke with victims. MB.
Yes, and Mike can share some good news tonight, and that is that the LAPD tells me that they have detained the suspected Brook bashing woman in West LA this afternoon. They say her name is Lisa Jones, but as to why, well, that remains a mystery.
Wait, hold on, dude.
Well, we were airing this video yesterday of a woman.
She is going in.
So they play. Why they reveal her name, but they didn't reveal they didn't want to act like they didn't want to reveal the captain of that ship that sunk the bridge. They didn't reveal his whole name.
Oh, man.
Somebody's a crisis actor out of one of the two, dude. Out of her or the dude on the ship, whatever he was, from motherfucking Ukraine or wherever he was from. Somebody's a crisis actor, dude. Out of one of them, out of this black lady right here. Look, or that dude on the ship.
I'm about 15 minutes because I know there's a lot of bullshit going on. I gotta play that video of the Crimson Cure for open my line up because I mean you gotta talk about this, and I gotta bring up something. I told you, Frank, Shaq, I had a nut yesterday talking to me about damn, what he talking about? We need over to GoFundMe for Angel Reese or something crazy, man. But nevertheless, let me go ahead with this. Frank, you're right. Why are they showing us this video of this woman smashing the bricks? Y'all got this clean old video. How did y'all get this? Hey, if that's the case, show us who broke in the storage facility in.
Ooh, they didn't want to show you that video. They didn't want to show you, you know what I'm saying? They didn't want
to.
So you mean to tell me there was no cameras on that cargo ship? There was no cameras on that motherfucker, right? No Walmart cameras to show when they went to Walmart?
Oh, my goodness.
No, look, knowing that you can't
Hurling
use, no,
bricks
that's
at cars
maritime
in
law.
Venice.
That's maritime law, right? That happened over there. That wasn't maritime law, right? Because it happened in it didn't happen on international waters. But since there were international sailors, if they were to leave that boat, that's going to go under maritime law. They lying, dude. You never gonna break maritime. You will break so-called regular laws, but they ain't gonna touch that maritime law now. That's not gonna happen.
West LA ended a red pickup truck in Tarzana. Burbank police say she was back at it with her brick, smashing windshields in the 2200 block of North Brighton Street.
She hit it with the brake on the windshield.
Mad-Eye Batista's car was one of 3 cars that had their windshields shattered by the suspect around 2 p.m. on Tuesday. She says her husband saw the woman.
Her noise, and then obviously he looked over the fence and he saw this lady coming in, and like he actually asked her like, "What do you do?" And she just ignored and ran, got in her car and left.
Mad-Eye says it cost a pretty penny to fix the windshield.
It is very, very upset. And
Mad-Eye tells us the woman was driving the same white VW Tiguan that she was seen driving in previous car attacks.
So when he came outside, he saw the car that it was like already, but we saw like the brake on the sidewalk.
Hold up.
No, she didn't. But we saw like little.
Break it down, dude, real quick. How the hell? So they know what kind of car she had. Why don't they go where she lived in? So that's worse than having it. That's worse than having the license plate. You know what kind of car she had. I know you got the license plate. Come on, dude. All right. My bad.
I am. These stories, man. They be making me laugh, man. It's like comic relief, man.
Little pieces and dust and so she picked the brake, of course, and then left.
Down the street, a neighbor's Honda Fit was also targeted by the brick basher.
Super upsetting, and I don't know who knows why she's doing it.
We spoke to that victim on the phone at work, who tells us her husband also witnessed the woman go after a truck that was parked across the street at the time.
And he's like, I could describe her, but she didn't. He said the car didn't have plates, so he couldn't get the plate number. And it was the white Volkswagen Tiguan, and it was a black lady.
Stop the video. Frank, Bernard. See, this is how they F up, right? Not saying this situation ain't happening now, but how each scenario is the same exact scenario. You mean to tell me both times or multiple times it was a husband that witnessed a female crash in the window, busting the window out with a brick, yo? Only husbands is the witnesses now. These are the.
Hey yo. And look, why did he do something about it?
But think about it though. They use the same MO though. This may have happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but why is it the same MO though? Why is it the same detailing? Oh, when my husband looked the scene when a black female get out and bust our windows out. What?
What's her motive for doing this, man?
I don't know.
All right, look. I'm Chris Q, I'm coming to you early tonight. I'm coming to you early tonight. I'm coming to you early.
Frank, I don't know, dog.
Are you ready?
Yeah, that should be crisis actors. Somebody lying and shit. Somebody lying. The crisis actors, man.
I gotta come
That's
early with
real.
it.
Y'all don't think? I think people don't think. They just think you just throw that word around like conspiracy theory. Crisis actor, that's a real thing. Being a crisis actor, you get paid for doing that. Literally, an agent provocateur too. That's another one too. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all know about that since back in the day. You know, the Steve Coakley days. You know what I mean? The Bobby Hemmick days. You know what I mean? The whole Black conscious days and shit. That agent provocateur and that crisis actor is real.
Well, let me play this. I'm coming early. Chris Q, I'm coming to you early.
Here, and this is my perspective. So we got yet another one. Now the heading of this says mother getting backlash for showing her 8-year-old daughter how to twerk. Now they're saying in the comments that that's not the mother of that little girl, like that's her sister or somebody else, and the little girl's like not quite 8 and she's a little bit older than that, and they were saying that as if this excuses what's happening. I'm going to play the video without the sound just because there's music in it, but this is what we teach. This is what's being taught to our little girls. Not teaching them how to be a wife. We're not teaching them how to be respectful. We're not teaching them how to respect themselves. We're not teaching them how to be modest. We're not teaching them about femininity. We're not teaching them about the value of their bodies and things of that nature. We're teaching them the first steps in how to hoe, how to be a hoe, how to use her sexuality that she doesn't even truly understand yet.
Yeah.
And just how to use that. It for right now, it's not being necessarily utilized for getting a man or having sex. But this is the problem with single mother-led households or households without a dominant male presence within them. Because see, a daddy would never allow that. A daddy, if that girl's daddy was around, if he was there and assuming that he was in control of that household, that little girl would never be doing that. Especially in front of a camera, especially to be going viral, where there are so many people who like children around, trolling around the internet, that's getting a nice little eye full.
Yep, we had 2 Amber Alerts today. Right, there was a 15-year-old girl missing today in Richmond. The Amber Alert kept going off, and I think the suspect was a 23-year-old male. But all right,
of this little girl doing something that she ain't got no business. My grandmama used to say she ain't got no but she got a gristle. She ain't got nothing yet but a little gristle. She moving around. She ain't got nothing because she a little girl. She ain't supposed to have nothing. And this is inappropriate all the way around. And then you've got people in the comment section talking about, oh, they just having fun. I'm so tired.
Yeah, some older people
of
ain't got
Black
nothing but
women making excuses for this type of tomfoolery, talking about we just having fun. When y'all gonna stop playing?
Scruggle booty.
When y'all gonna stop playing? Y'all play all day. Y'all play so much. Y'all play too much. Everything is a game. Everything is a joke. Everything is, oh, it's not that serious. Everything is, whatever. Everything is, oh, it's not that bad. We did worse. And there's always a million excuses for everything. No accountability. Only a few people was in the comment section like, okay, this is ridiculous. Right? Like, let's take a look at some of these comments. Because a lot of times it's the comments for me. Right? Somebody says she need to be learning about multiplications. Right. Do she know her timetables? Because I swear to God, right? This comment was interesting. So I mean, yeah, that's definitely outrageous and ridiculous. Shame on the mom. But that doesn't mean her daughter can't grow up to be a doctor or lawyer or something. And I thought that was an interesting comment, because her growing up to have a certain profession doesn't mean she's not gonna grow up to be a hoe, if that's what you teach her to do. It's doctors and lawyers that's home. It's doctors and lawyers, female doctors and lawyers that don't have any value to themselves. It's female doctors and lawyers that sexually objectify themselves and don't have any value as women. You know, this whole mindset that we've got, that a certain profession indicates who you are as a person, or if you've got a certain type of profession, that means that you're a certain type of person. And it's so inaccurate. Like, because since when you got all these professional women who are inadequate as women, they're inadequate as wives, completely lost when it comes to how to be feminine, completely in the dark about what it takes to be a wife, what it takes to be on in a marriage, what it takes to do. Teach your daughters this. We so busy teaching them how to hoe. We teach them that. And then we try to blame it on men, like men are coming and preying on girls to turn them out. No, their mothers are doing it. The older women that are in charge of them teach them this. And they don't even teach it to them in the context of a marriage either. You know what I mean? Like, teach your girls about her sexuality. When she gets of age, talk to her about, sex. Talk to her. Have age-appropriate conversations with her about her sexuality, about her feelings, about how to utilize her sexuality, but in a positive way. Utilize it within the confines of a marriage with a man that love her and value her and take care of her. And not, this is teaching her she should put this on the internet for likes and views and clicks, and that it's not a big deal. She's been taught this isn't a big deal. This is why so many of our young girls can claim that they've had some type of SA incidents before they turn 18, because the women in charge of them teach them this. There aren't any men around, their fathers specifically, or strong men that bring order to these households. And so these mothers bring these other men into the homes and around these children, and they're not watching them. There's no structure. And the men that they invite into their homes, whether it be temporary or not, will become inappropriate with these girls. Not all the time, but a lot of times. Inappropriate with these girls. And you teach the girls how to, do this stuff and be sexual.
All right. Just bringing this up to oh shit, hey, what's up, Naomi? Watching my son right here watching Nuggets, watching Nuggets game with me. Facts. Okay. All right. All right. If I want to go in on this topic right quick, go ahead and bring it up.
Yeah, let me share some. And see, growing up, my mom always told me, man, this is a couple of things she told me, right? As a young man, get into a relationship with a young female, with young or teenage daughters, you got to be careful, be cautious, because, and I don't think people think those situations, some men run away from those situations because there's too much, like she said, can happen in them situations, It's a lot of responsibility to go along with that. It ain't play. It's not play. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing a lot of guys. Well, someone would take the opportunity, like she said, get in a relationship and don't think nothing about it. And those young girls raising hormones will be walking around the house if their mother don't teach her and train her how to be a young lady around her male company. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff can happen. A lot of scenarios can happen out of that. So I kind of steered away from just, even if I did was in got in relationship with a young lady that had teenage daughters, I wouldn't necessarily go over to the house. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to put myself in a situation, I'm always trying to be cautious because of things I've heard that happen. Some things happen to family members, males, So Quincy Kerr is actually correct. It's all about the upbringing and the training for those situations. You know what I'm saying? If they're not teaching the young girls,
Stay right there, because I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Back in the 80s and 90s, you would have had somebody not reprimanding their child. You would have had somebody reprimanding that woman on what she was doing.
Explain it. Elaborate more on what you're speaking on.
Somebody would have got that older woman and told her, what the hell you doing with this child? That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely see the values have changed. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about this earlier, about the public and the private.
Thank you, man.
Things you do in the private, obviously should be things you should limit to yourself doing in the public. Not saying you trying to hide it, but it's just things you should keep private and things you should keep public. I mean, you should do it public.
Yeah, men too.
It is what it is. Back in the days, like I say, even for a man and a woman. Now, look how crazy this is, right? Look how the times have changed. Even a man and a woman, husband and wife, it was like, they kissing in public. Now they love each other. They're adults. You know what I'm saying? They're adults. In public, people used to say, or you even kissing in front of children.
Man, hell no, these people are having sex outside damn proud of it. Anybody can say that to you no more, man.
Now, I mean,
did I just tell you Nicki Minaj was down here the other night at the Capital One Arena performing her tour? Nicki Minaj is down here in DC the other night. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what the hell? Now, all right, Frank, because I got to.
But let me get back though. I don't know if Frank want to chime in on it, but it is extremely. You got to be cautious, man, out in this world when you are dating. Men and women. You know what I'm saying? Because especially, like I said, a woman that has daughters. Teenage daughters, young daughters, or even adult daughters sometimes, because people, I don't know, people just don't understand, man, how it is. I mean, man, you got to be cautious, man. Let me say that, dog. And aware of what's going on, man, because, man.
My thing, what the
difficult.
What the hell? See that? Charmaine said it best, man. That's child abuse, man. See, but the thing is, that's not gonna be called child abuse because that's a woman doing it. You know what I'm saying? And it's the accountability rate when it comes out of some of these being held with some of these females is kind of low. So even society, the government knows all that. You see what I'm saying? So that's not gonna fly. But the thing is, she really needs to be held accountable. But you know what I think? Other black women should be calling her out on that. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. You see what I mean? People amongst her peers should be calling her out for that. But see, it's funny because a lot of times, like she just said in the comment section, they was cheering that on, talking about they just having time to have fun and they just playing. When it comes out of that, they're not gonna be playing no chess though.
She's gonna become a doctor or lawyer or something, man. Like the girl put in the comments, like become a doctor or lawyer, man.
Secure was so dope with that comeback. that does not mean she ain't gonna be no hoe. I don't understand what does a profession have to do with you know what I'm saying, you still being fast
like
and easy.
Chak friends say,
you know,
climb up the corporate ladder. Hey, you climb up the ladder. You don't climb down. You climb up. That's how you get up sometimes. Now, I gotta bring this topic up, Frank, because it's been going on. I had a guy tell me, he was talking about, the other day with this, they had this women's basketball game on, and the girl Caitlin Clark and the LSU team, and I think, matter of fact, I think LSU was number 3, and I think Owl might have been number 1 in their seed. That might be 1-3 again. So it seemed like a big psyop. I know that you got North Carolina State men and women in the championship, and I told you North Carolina State got a lot of cancer going on around their campus. Call it cancer clusters. No question, both of them in that championship. Matter of fact, North Carolina State is 11 in the men's, and the women is a 3 seed. 11 times 3 is 33. No question. Okay, just pointing it out. But there's been a lot of talk about Miss Reese here, even to people I know, because they know a guy told me to watch the game the other day. Then they said that she getting death threats and all this. I'm like, look, what's going on, man? What you want me to do? What you want me? I said, what's going on, man? What are you trying to say? He said, I'm tired of y'all men not stepping up Angel Reese. I said, wait a minute. I said, what's going on, man? What you talking about here, man? I said, he said, if I had money, I would set up a GoFundMe for Angel Reese. I said, what are we doing all this for, man? I said, what are you doing with this? So I said, but me and him we had it out. We had a little talk or whatever. It's okay, right? I mean, sometimes you just got to break it down. See, I don't get into that, all this tongue wrestling with you, especially with no man over no dumb shit like this. I'm like, bro. I said, why would I give Angel Reese a GoFundMe? I said, Angel Reese got NAL deals. I'm going to pull them up to you right now. Matter of fact, I'm going to read it right now. I'm pulling it right now. I'm coming there right now. All right. She got him doing some Reeboks. Amazon, PlayStation, so forth and the like. She did say, that's what she said, Rashawn Green. I don't need the WNBA, but she just declined. Now, wait a minute now. I'm going to say this up. But the NIL deals about to put in NFL, the college football out of business, though. Because the NFL is talking about creating a minor league for that. And if they ever create a minor league, college football is basically finished. Because now they're getting paid, right? So that's the thing. Because the NFL can just swoop in and swoop with the big boys. They get the big bank to a little bank, like my brother Marcus called me earlier today. Frank said that big bank take little bank. So that's how it works, right? But I told him Angel Reese got a lot of contracts, man. Amazon, Reebok, PlayStation, so forth and the like. So I said, I don't know about donating no GoFundMe. Right. I said, now, if it's death threats, that needs to be something more. My thing was, they talked about they didn't stand for the flag or whatever. To me, I'm like this with that. If they're doing it on their own reconnaissance, which they're not, they're doing it for some type of political agenda, or they doing like they said, they stayed in the locker room like they've been doing the whole time. But I know that they must be using this one political agenda, because the last 2 years in WNBA, the college, they've been bringing up Angel Reese. They didn't even talk about Angel Reese when Angel Reese was in the University of Maryland. And my thing, she from the University of Maryland. Why can't she? I think people in Baltimore, need to be getting more of a GoFundMe or something than these NIL deal athletes now. I'm just being honest, because it is what it is. So it's a touchy subject, but I would say that people got to understand, what the hell is going on? How did this psyop happen? And why is this being brought up so much? Possibly because Caitlin Clark said she might sign with the Who is it? The Ice Cube Big Three. That's what it is. But nevertheless, we just got to understand, like, when they bring out these type of distractions, what's really going on? Like I said, nobody should get death threats, but we need to be seeing them. I think that we need to see them because if people putting this stuff on Twitter, we can easily go look that up. But my thing is, we all know that the media is using this, and I always say, who's capitalizing off this opportunity? Now,
let's think about it. Think about it, right? With this Caitlin girl, she's a 6-foot guard, right? That pretty much, I guess you can you can make money publicly with her because of the way the game is being played to this day. It's a high volume. She shoots a high volume of 3 points.
Basically, like they're training now. They know they're training now. They know.
Who?
Say Caitlin might be training though. Say Caitlin might be training.
I'm not gonna publicly say that. I don't know. I haven't even looked into it. She got a boyfriend. Right, I don't know. But look, she's a 6-foot guard, right? And she shoots a high volume of threes, which is where they got the game going to this day. Like shooting threes, she shot 20 threes in the game alone herself. Last game alone herself. Like that's a high volume of threes normally compared to how the game used to be played. So the game is just going into this era of sensationalizing. You know what I'm saying? It's not even basketball no more, man. It's just all about it's all about this entertainment. So
it's highlight, baby. It's highlight, baby.
Now go back to the Angel Reese. She's 6'3". She's a forward. She has a more, I wouldn't say old school style of basketball, but it makes a great rival. And I see how they can make money or get more views off because, like I said, the young Caitlin Clark chick, she shoots high volume threes like the guys in the NBA, you know, Steph Curry style. You know what I'm saying? High volume of 3-pointers.
I just saw you a dude drop 50 points last night. They come off the bench having 5 points a game. Come on, man.
See, that's what I'm saying. The era we in now is a high volume shooting era. I mean, it's not even too much of the fundamentals being in the game. Now, I see Reese with the fundamentals. She's leading the NCAA in double-doubles. She leads the SEC. I think she got the single season record for most double-doubles in the game, most rebounds. You know what I'm saying? She's leading the double-doubles and shit. So that's a more balanced basketball game. But those are two different styles of players. And I can see how they can make money off this. Keep their rival going. Now, it's questions whether Reese is going to enter the WNBA. And I think she made some statements. So I see some articles saying that she's committed to the draft, the WNBA draft, right? People say they why Ice Cube didn't offer her a deal for the Big Three. Like I said, according to how the style of play is, I don't think nobody will watch Angel Reese play. Not saying she's not a great player. It's just the style of player which is going on right now. A lot of people three-point shots. You know what I'm saying? The fundamentals is being left out of the game. So if you ain't, you know, doing all these, you know, shooting these long, crazy 3-point shot, half-court shots and stuff like that, you're not going to get the media, you know what I'm saying, the pub like you're supposed to, whether you still putting the work in or not. You'll get overshadowed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we even got this in the NBA right now. Like, look at the guys with the fundamentals. They still maintain to be top-notch athletes and productive players in the league, but they tend to get overshadowed by, like you said, you got a guy that come off the bench, ain't never played, at the most he can score 5 points, and then he come off and score 50 points. I mean, you know.
Well, let me bring up the speech, and people are going. And also, I meant to tell you, there's another statistic out here now that 50% of women will be single and childless. Forgot to mention that when the Crimson Curl video.
50% of women be single and child. I don't know about that. I don't know. That's see those. I don't get into those projections.
Those are big numbers. Those are big numbers.
Who? Yeah, but
I'm gonna play the video next.
Okay, but hold on. I gotta ask Frank and anybody in the chat. How can they make this big projection that 50% of women are going to be single and childless, yo?
I'm sterilizing you. That's why.
Well, now you talking now. Now we get into the thick of things now.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship. And I said the other day, I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks. But I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything. And I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are. Keep waking up every day. Keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
Sound good. All right. Let's get to that. Let's get that. All right, now. So this is Miss Reese. She's got deals with Buick, Bosie, Bobby, or what they call it Bayou Bobby, no surprise. McDonald's, TurboTax. Let's see. Here we go. I'm just gonna bring this up.
Hey, Matt Gates.
TurboTax.
Wearing a gray shirt.
ฉันอยู่ที่ประตู60เสื้อสีเทา
ได้ครับ เดี๋ยวผมมารับไป2 นาที
I'll pick you up in 2 minutes.
The LSU Tigers are taking over. This is how Angel Reese and her college basketball teammate became millionaires. Angel Reese's name, image, and likeness valuation currently sits at a staggering $1.7 million. And while the Bayou Barbie is the undisputed star of college basketball right now, her teammate, Flau'jae Johnson, is not far behind. The 5'10" guard has an NIL valuation of $1.3 million. When it comes to name, image, and likeness deals, Angel and Flau'jae are the two MVPs in the women's game. The only player in all of college basketball that ranks higher than these two LSU teammates in NIL valuation is Bronny James. And you don't need to do too much research to find out why Bronny sits at the top of the list. He's the son of the king, after all. The LSU dominance doesn't end with Angel and Flau'jae either. The fifth highest NIL valuation in women's college basketball belongs to another LSU star, Hailey Van Lith. HVL's number stands at an eye-watering $543,000. So how did these three teammates reach a level of success previously unheard of in college basketball? The main ingredient in this highly lucrative recipe is, of course, skill and dedication where the game of basketball is concerned. All three players are former All-Americans. Reese and Johnson are NCAA champions. And HVL left high school as the all-time leading scorer in state history and won MVP at the FIBA 3-on-3 Under-18s World Cup. But while Reese, Johnson, and Van Lith have undeniably got game, they've also got the smarts to grow their own personal brands. Angel Reese has signed NIL deals with a host of heavy hitters. Amazon, Bose, Coach, Discord, Sonic, Outback Steakhouse, Wingstop, Xfinity, the list goes on. The Bayou Barbie is unstoppable. And speaking of the Bayou Barbie, Reese has launched her own clothing and merch online store under her nickname. Add these accolades to her Instagram follower count of 2.5 million, which is more than some NBA stars, by the way, and it's not hard to see why Reese reigns over all when it comes to making bank in college ball. Flau'jae has made her money thanks to an assist from a successful rap career. She performs using her first name as her stage name and sells merch and music to her 1.6 million social media followers. Her name, image, and likeness deals include Puma, Meta, JBL, Taco Bell, and more. Hailey Van Lith, on the other hand, has signed deals with the likes of Adidas and JCPenney and has around 900,000 followers on her Instagram page. These numbers are all guaranteed to grow in coming years. NIL deals for female college athletes went up 186% in 2022. For male athletes, it only went up 67%. You have to wonder how much of a part these three LSU stars played in that statistic. And let's not forget, all three of these women are aged 21 or under, and all have dreams of going pro someday. But even in the WNBA, some players aren't making this kind of money. It's a fact that Angel Reese knows all too well, and it has actually factored in her decision to remain at LSU for the upcoming season. WNBA players don't make as much money as they should. Being able to grow this now while I'm in college and doing this now can help me when I go to the WNBA. Angel Reese. The Bayou Barbie's rise shows no signs of slowing down. She's blowing doors wide open for every other woman in basketball. And her popularity has now reached such a height that she's having to take some of her college classes online to avoid being swarmed by fans. The WNBA is waiting for these three phenomenal athletes. Yet, thanks to the incredible amounts of money they're already making, Angel Reese, Flau J. Johnson, and Hailey Van Lith are in no rush to go pro. Can LSU win the NCAA championship again this season? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, like, and subscribe.
That's why I told the guy I ain't donate no you go for me for that. Because I said he's making a whole lot of money. Now the other girl transferred, so she ended the transfer for the Hailey Van Leaf or something like that. But yeah. But that's pretty much, I'm telling you, this ain't what you think. I mean, this ain't what y'all think it is now. There's a lot of money to be made here. Mass marketing. So that's right. I agree with you.
Well, they should be thanking the old Bannon brothers for being able to cash out on these NIL deals. A lot of athletes was not able to, that was a big conversation 10, 15 years ago about whether high school and definitely college athletes on the collegiate level should they be able to accept endorsements, and these NIL deals. Because these colleges, these organizations make a lot of money off these athletes, man, as you see. You know what I'm saying? Coaches. Look at some of these coaches' salary, dude. They make a whole lot of money out of these college athletes, yo. Whole lot of in. You know what I'm saying? That 1.3 million is crumbs compared to how much money they making off these they name, image, and likeness.
Well, that's what I'm gonna say about it. My thing is, like I said, we can get all into it about what the speech or whatever. I'm just letting people know, hey, it's a lot of money. Now, what I didn't know, it came on the video, that the female athletes is making more than the men athletes on NFL deals. But why? She's saying she being sexualized. That might be the reason why, because they know how much money they can make off this shit. That's what I'm getting out of it right there. So sometimes I'm gonna say this. Hey, look, we talk about accountability. You gotta hold some of that burn because on that too. Now, I'm not saying they don't sexualize male athletes too, because Dwayne Wade been on that body cover and all this other bullshit too. But what I'm letting you know is, of course, the NIL deal would be sponsoring more women because now the WNBA come out and say they want to be independent from the NBA and go on their own. I don't think they'll make it. But LeBron James said the other day, and I don't even really want to quote anything he says because that shit don't have no weight. But he did make a point. He said that they got to thank NBA icons for coming to these college games or promoting it. And he may have a legitimate point on that because they have been promoting the WNBA because, to be honest with you, let's be honest. Women ain't going to the game. Women go to college basketball game, but they're not going to them WNBA games. I mean, I'm just pointing it out. But I'm letting you know that if she gets her deals, That's good. I mean, she wants her deals. That's good for her. I mean, I'm just saying that she's sponsored by a lot of companies, and these companies don't support a lot of people that look like me and you, really, unless you. Hey, look, that white girl says she got to deal with Adidas. Well, I mean, hey, man, I got to find out what Kanye West got to say about this. Sorry, man, but
what?
Because Adidas ain't gonna Kanye. But look, hold on, let me say this. Anybody want to call in 571-450-0773. 571-450-0773. All right, Frank. What do you think about all this money going around with these NIL deals, Frank? A lot of money going around.
Yeah, they get like you just said, they get paid off being sexualized. They know, especially with this whole social media era and the Instagram and all that. It's just like this goes synonymously with that. It just goes hand in hand. You know, they some good looking little broads or whatever. So, you know what I mean? So, you know, they're gonna try to take advantage of that. You know, just like these little broads be doing. That's what they're good for doing, is taking advantage of the fact that, you know, just basically going on their looks and making money and revenue off that instead of going off their brand smarts or whatever, and they just being classy about everything. But I don't think class exists a lot of times really anymore too much. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to these females and these dudes. But I mean, you're a female, you're supposed to be delicate. I don't think they look at it like delicate no more. I think a lot of them are really perverted, really, to be honest with you. The type of stuff they be doing is really like perverted, but that's another show. You know what I mean? But and plus they're young too, so you know they ain't. You know, I don't even know who's in their moms, their dads, whoever's in their life. I don't even know who's really had that influence on them like that. You see what I'm saying? That's another thing. How was they raised? You see what I'm saying? But it's just it's social media, man, and it's monkey see, monkey do type stuff. So they getting paid and taking advantage of the fact that they look good and they're young. You see what I'm saying? And dudes be lusting and dudes be thirsty. You know what I mean? So. You know what I mean? That goes perfectly hand in hand. You know, dudes like basketball, dudes like sports. So they see little broads, you know what I mean? Like they look like this playing sports and wearing the stuff they're wearing and doing what they're doing and dancing and all that, doing TikToks and all that stuff. You know, they be lusting over these little chicks, you know? And they know that. You know, right? What y'all think? I mean, that's how I look at it.
I mean, yeah, man, we always gonna be the commodity, man. Definitely. I mean, you know, hey, like I say, sex sales, they're gonna always, you know, sexualize, you know what I'm saying, young girls and women in general. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, look at the top supermodels, the top models and all that stuff. Ain't that sexualization?
True.
All right. Hold on.
They be getting deals and contracts off modeling and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? Make it a whole career.
True.
Let me play the video you gave me. I forgot. I gotta get to it.
Okay.
David Cohen, Deputy Director of the CIA, citizenship with Israel. Jew, who's in charge of the most powerful positions of our nation. Janet Yellen, Secretary of the Treasury, dual citizenship with Israel. Jew. Merrick Garland, Attorney General, dual citizenship with Israel. Jew. Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary of Homeland Security for our country, dual citizenship with Israel. Dual citizenship with Israel. Jew. David Cohen, Deputy Director of the CIA, dual citizenship of National Israel. Jew. Avril Haines, Director of National Intelligence, dual citizenship with Israel. Jew. Hey, brother. Hope you have a blessed day. Keep on fighting, brother. Jeff Zates, White House Chief of Staff, dual citizenship with Israel. Jew. Four-star Admiral Rachel Levine, U.S. Assistant Secretary of Health.
Y'all get the drift. This guy is calling out everybody that's in that office, everybody in there. He's pointing out who they are. and they got dual citizenship. That's what he's pointing out.
A lot of people, dude. That's a lot of people, brother.
I know.
That have power.
Man. Yeah. So that go to show you that, I mean, hey, man. I mean, hey, we've been hijacked. Speaking of you know, they were talking about everything today going on. You know who it is. You know who it is. Can I play it? Can I play it? Speaking of you, boy.
Uh-oh. Let me guess.
Yeah,
Green
yeah.
Blizzle, what? Green Blizzle?
Yeah. He's back out again. He's out again. I just don't know what he... Oh. Here it is. Here we go. You know he's spreading that
Wix is your platform to perform on.
Last year was another record-breaking year for white supremacist propaganda incidents in the United States, with more than 7,500 cases recorded in 2023. It's according to a new report from the Anti-Defamation League. It is the second year in a row the record was broken. The ADL revealed the figure in its annual white supremacist propaganda report. And joining us now to break down those findings, the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt. Jonathan, thanks for being with us as always. A dubious record to break again this year, of course. What all did you see? What are the areas of greatest concern?
Well, thanks for having me, Willie. Indeed, white supremacists and right-wing extremists who may have a hard time showing up in some public places actively use propaganda in order to target, to intimidate, and to victimize minorities. Last year, indeed, the second year in a row, we broke a very new, dubious record. We saw over 7,500 of such propaganda incidents, a 141% increase in anti-LGBTQ propaganda. There's terrible, terrible hatred directed at trans people in particular, and a 30% increase in anti-Semitic propaganda. And we saw for the first time really out in the open, this convergence, Willie, of right-wing extremist white supremacist language with left-wing radical anti-Zionist language. You're seeing the same people who hate Jews for a long time.
Now, wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Frank, don't he sound like that rabbi that was talking to Candace Owens a little bit on that thing I showed you the other night? Don't he, all that anti-Zionist crap. Ain't that him? Ain't he saying the same thing? Oh, my bad. He sound like the same thing to me.
Celebrating the 10/7 attack. So there's this weird and sort of twisted marriage between these, again, right-wing extremists and left-wing anti-Zionists we haven't really seen before. These were happening in all 50 states, with the exception of Hawaii and Alaska. And there's a handful of groups that are driving this. Groups with names like National Justice Party, Patriot Front, that come off as being pro-America when they are really nothing more than pro-hate.
Jonathan, it's been a couple of years now since Chris Wray, the FBI director, testified in Congress that white supremacy was the biggest terrorist threat to Americans. Do you get any sense that the federal government is trying to do anything or having any success in combating anti-Semitism, particularly from these far-right groups? Does anything work?
Patty, it's a really important question. We have found the FBI, federal, state, local law enforcement to be very focused on the problem. And indeed, you need to be tracking these people arresting and prosecuting them to the fullest
Excuse me,
extent of
when
the
the last
law.
time you seen the
And
so-called
when
Jewish person
propaganda
get
moves
shot
from
unarmed
expressing an
80
idea
times
to
by the
inciting
law
violence,
enforcement of the United States of
there's
America?
grounds to do
Beat
something
down,
about it.
you know what I'm
So
saying?
definitely law enforcement has a role to
Something beat
play.
down,
And again, I
held
will tell
down,
you, Director Ray and
held in the
all of
prone
the
position,
folks that
choked
we
out.
deal with at DHS, et
I ain't
cetera,
never seen it.
have been really, really vigilant. But I will say, Caddy K, their efforts are somewhat hamstrung by the social media companies. I mean, literally, what we're seeing in places like TikTok. I mean, I get when it's on Truth Social. I guess I have to accept that it's going to be on Parler and these far-right extremist platforms. But when it moves to TikTok, when it moves to Instagram, when it's popular on Facebook, that's when I know we have a problem, because the companies seem either incapable or unwilling to do something to clamp down this hate. I mean, that's how it's happening, Caddy. These actors, again, far-right extremists,
because you're anti-Zionist doesn't mean you're hateful, though.
they coordinate online, they mobilize their people, they spread the flyers, and that's how they end up in people's
you gotta be hateful
lawns,
because you're anti-Zionist?
packed out to
That's
synagogues
crazy,
in front of LGBTQ centers. It's really loathsome.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app.
Now watch this. This is even worse. Watch this.
There are places in our military where we are trained to start and fuel insurgency.
That's the same kind of they've been doing their whole career. Now they're doing it here inside the United States.
Anybody who says that this can't happen in a worse way, either they're ignorant or they're part of the problem.
Today, domestic terrorism is the greatest terrorist threat facing the United States.
The CIA has this tool where they measure levels of insurgency, and if you just apply the tool to the US, we are in an incipient insurgency.
You want your house back? Take it!
How did I end up on one side of that door, and my fellow veterans, how did they end up on the other side of that door?
That was part of the trailer from the new documentary titled Against All Enemies, which takes a look at why some military veterans are drawn to the growing, violent, far-right extremist movement in America, essentially becoming a threat to the democracy they once swore to uphold. Joining us now, the film's director and producer, Charlie Sadoff, writer and executive producer, Sebastian Younger, and writer and producer, Ken Harbaugh. Thank you all for being here this morning. Ken, the footage of January 6th is interspliced throughout this documentary, powerfully so. Talk to us about this phenomenon. What has caused it?
So the reason so many veterans, and it's not most veterans, I think that has to be said, but it's too many. Of course. And they're drawn to these extremist groups like the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys, in large part out of a sense of loss and needing to replace that with a community and a mission, because when you take off the uniform, that need for mission and camaraderie doesn't go away. And these groups do a really good job at recreating that. And I think it's incumbent upon us.
So what they're doing now, listen closely. I'm trying to tell you what they're doing. People who are former military that do not agree with the government is doing, they are labeling them as extremists. See how you can be one time the hero, and now you can be the villain? That's what they're doing. That's all they're doing. They just painting you, they just turning your image around. You don't agree with what we're doing? You're the enemy now. If you agree with what we're doing, you're the hero. That's all that's going on here. And they made a whole documentary about it called Against All Enemies. But I always tell Chak, we are the enemies of the state too. Don't be fooled by when they say veterans. We too. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, but they see consent democracy too. I mean, I don't think, I could be wrong. Maybe they updated it, Bernard. Maybe they updated the Constitution. Maybe they put democracy in the Constitution. I don't know. Maybe it's in there. Maybe it's in there. I don't see I thought it was a republic. But, hey.
Man. Here's democracy. For them.
Right. The mob rule, huh?
Oh, yeah, they mobbing it
that's
up.
That foreign stuff they bring. That's that European. See, That's what I'm saying, man. I keep getting confused when they say Westerners, calling us Westerners, the Western culture. But a lot of, as you can see, the last video played, there's a lot of so-called people from the East coming out of Eurasia that's in political positions in the United States that's running this corporation.
Hey, let me bring this to you. Somebody just sent me this. You know, they got this, you know, everybody getting worried about this eclipse or something. So they say the tips for the eclipse this year have communication plan with your family and friends, have cash on hand in case of limited internet access, buy necessary groceries and gas, and expect heavy traffic and long lines for local services. So, yeah, right. Okay. Wow. Crazy, right? Yeah, what it is. But I always say, hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Now, as far as this, I want to say this. If I play my last video, I don't think people really understand what the hell is going on around here, man. Like, you know, and I might play 2 videos actually. But people need to understand that we are really up against it. But T-Mobile is giving out glasses to see it. I think I heard about that. But we, you know, we're in the battle of our lives right now, and I don't think people understand how grave the thing is. I'm in Food Line tonight, waiting on the guy, and I said, I'm gonna just go in the store to see it. One thing, I saw this little young Hispanic girl in front of me with Pepsis and Red Baron pizzas and all that stuff. I said, let me see what she gonna do. And she pulled out the EBT card. I said, oh, they go to show you they getting a lot of social welfare benefits too, right? But one thing I noticed, it was a woman in me with a wheelchair. She had a little small wheelchair. And her nails were about this long. I said, well, I'd be damn. I said, this is just some crazy stuff, man. I said to myself, crazy stuff, man. So that's how I go, man. So we just gotta re-up against it, man. That's all I'm gonna say. We are truly up against it. And we better know, we better get off.
So you said she had the card, huh? Sorry, let me cut you off. You said she had the card, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they go to show they looking out for them more than us.
Yeah, I mean, young one too. There was packed in that store too. As a matter of fact, I forgot it might be the 4th or 3rd of the month, man. I don't know what's going on. But, well, Mr. Greenblatt says, Frank, you're extremist. So, I'm glad he gets to come on the news every day and gets his, every week and gets his pound of flesh on. Now, this got to be part of some agenda now. They say 45% of women are suspected to be single and childless by 2030.
Pay attention,
That's a lot of
everyone.
A lot,
We're
man.
trying to catch the Pontiac Bandit for 8 years. You know how many months?
I'm a stay-at-home wife and mom of 2 children, but this child-free conversation and birth rate trend fascinates me. Okay, so this is a Reddit thread, and it will take me into news articles and other things. So this will probably be in multiple parts. So it says 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. She says, just saw a news item saying 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030, 7 years away. Also recently found an article about a study that found the happiest demographic is single childless women. Single childless men were the unhappiest group. Their happiness increased. That's neither here nor there. I'm not talking about men right here. So I went and found an article. A couple of articles have spoken on this, and I do believe that this one is more of an anti-feminist type of article. But let's jump into it. So it says, we're told about by our culture that a woman who is unmarried and has no children is empowered and in charge of her own life. She has escaped the unnecessary burden of raising a family and being a slave to her husband. At least that's what our society has convinced us. Sadly, many women have adopted this modern feminist lifestyle and have chosen to sleep around, abort their baby if they unexpectedly get pregnant, and swear off marriage. But these cultural trends are going to have a tremendous impact on our future. Okay, so you see why I think this is anti feminist. But let's go to the next part. In 2019, Morgan Stanley published an article outlining women's impact on the American economy. The number of prime working age women in the US has been increasing steadily, and most of them are single and completely focused on their career. These women will continue to have greater representation in the workforce, helping to boost wages. Today, motherhood is by far the largest contributor to the wage gap. So just keep that in mind that when women are child free, their wages stay pretty close to men with kids and without kids. And here's where I think people have a problem. Single women spend more than average family household, especially when it comes to travel, nightlife, eating out, skincare, beauty, and retail shopping. So, of course, economists will attempt to frame it in a positive light that nearly half of women are single and childless. It can only be good for the economy. But by the opposite token, if a woman is a mother, she's spending on household items, things for the kids, and all that kind of stuff. So the money part kind of balances out. But child free women and single women are free and they can just do what they want. This will definitely need a part two, but this is so interesting to me that people frame child free women as such a bad thing. Y'all weigh in. Let's get ready for this discussion. I'm a stay at home wife.
Yeah. Crazy stuff, ain't it, man? What do you think?
Yeah, that's man. I don't think it's gonna be that much, but I mean, I can see. Definitely gonna be some more of them gonna be single. I would say, you know what I'm saying? Or
why not? It's Agenda
not
2030.
like,
It said
I
by
don't think her
2030.
the numbers. I don't think that many. But the thing is, because you got a lot of simps still out there, dude. We can't just say, you know what I mean? You got a lot of you got a lot of dudes that are burnt out, desperate, you know. So I mean, there wouldn't be OnlyFans. These females wouldn't be making millions of dollars on OnlyFans if it wasn't for cats like this. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Excuse me. So I don't think that the number's gonna be like that because you got a lot of these dudes that are just don't respect themselves and just will go all out for these females, man. You know what I mean? And I think that's really pathetic, but that's on them. You know what I mean? That's on them. You see what I'm saying? But I mean, does that make sense? You got so many dudes that are gonna trick off and still on them, and you know, or they'll still be with the female that has a gang, a kid, you know, or just whatever, you know. So it's like, you know, I'm just gonna say, you know, they'll balance out. Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, I ain't trying to talk about dudes, you know, people like that, or they love lives or whatever, whoever they choose or how they choose. But I mean, it's crazy right now. This internet, you know, it gives a lot of females so much clout, supposedly, right? It gives them so much attention, you know, that you know a lot of them have big heads, man. You know, they're gonna treat the average, you know, dude they come across in the street or whatever, like, oh, whatever, you know, or whoever. Because you know, you get so much attention, man. You're gonna change how you treat people. Does that make sense? Does it kind of make sense, BJ? If you get a lot of attention from the opposite sex, you're not going to be as appreciative, and it's gonna change how you view the opposite sex a little bit in a way. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to be appreciative or really see somebody for who they are. But a lot of times, you're not going to really. I don't know how to explain it. You see what I'm saying? But and that's when the material things come along. You know, that's when okay, I need money, or you know, for this and that. because of my looks, or I need this because of my looks, or I need, you know what I mean? That's when the material things come in exchange for how you look, or the exchange for you who you think, how good you think you look comes. You see what I'm saying? But I mean, like I was saying though, man, these females is accountable. I always say that I'm gonna hold them accountable, but I'm gonna hold these dudes accountable too. I got to. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying, BJ? I wouldn't be, keeping it real if I didn't. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, hold everybody accountable.
Because come on, like these dudes, a lot of these dudes need to wake up, man. It's not even all about sex or being with, this and that, or doing this and that, man. If you be, what I'm saying, living your life, and if you're successful, be successful, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Or do whatever. Live the life. It don't necessarily have to be about females all the time. I don't understand a lot of these cats, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
crazy,
let's put it
man.
this way. They told you about 2030. That's Agenda 2030 right there. So they already letting you know what the plot is.
Hey, I just sent y'all a little video on your baby mama, Bernard.
Who?
On Instagram. Your DMs. Look, check your Instagram DM. You gotta play it. You gotta play it. Hey Frank.
Let me see.
His baby mama. They check your Instagram too, your DM.
Hold on.
There's a lot of shenanigans going on here, man. But I think people better get ready to.
Is that unsexy red or what?
This can't be.
Unsexy red. Hold on. I'm trying to look. Wait.
Bitch, you're nobody. It's like I'm finna sit with your. They ain't coming to see you, Otis. Bitch. You heard who they screaming for. How y'all? They could fuck my head up. They put us out. I ain't gonna down on that. Oh, smack that ball up.
Hey, Sexy Red look different on that jump. I ain't never seen it with no hair like that, but okay, whatever.
What you think? Hey, to preface that video, it was a clip from Instagram. I guess she was scheduled to appear at high school, but
they wouldn't let her in.
They wouldn't let her in because I guess they were saying she smelled like weed. That's the only I got from the clip.
But see, that's another thing. Why is a high school going to use? Why would that's what, whoever these working at these damn high schools, man, they need to be fired, dude. Why would you let what I'm saying, a rapper or some kind of artist that talks about stuff like this, vulgar? I mean, the craziest lyrics. Didn't her lipstick line or whatever the fuck talk about booty hole brown and all this crazy shit and period red or some crazy shit? Man, look, check this out. People they did know who they letting perform or do lectures, whatever, at their damn schools and shit. A lot of them be twerking and shaking their ass to this damn shit their damn self. People that work at these damn schools, they should be ashamed of themselves. You know what I'm saying? They're full of shit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, let me play this right here.
Trump sycophant and very influential radio host Charlie Kirk finally figured out how to really win the women's vote for Republicans. Here he is talking to conservative college women.
We've basically told a great generation of young women, don't get married, don't have kids, go get a corporate job. And it's created mass political hysteria. And then in their early 30s, they get really upset because they say, the boys don't want to date me anymore because they're not at their prime. And people get mad when I say that. Well, it's just true.
That must have been the wrong clip where he was trying to charm everybody. So I think we have another one.
A lot of them are on birth control too, and birth control like really screws up female brains, by the way.
Oh, and there are more. Bachungar Sargon's here, opinion editor of Newsweek, author of the best book out this month. It's called Second Class: How the Elites Betrayed America's Working Men and Women. It is good to see you. Charlie's a real charmer, isn't he?
I actually like Charlie. I think he's doing a really important thing, which is trying to make conservatism look cool to a younger generation, which is, you know, God's work. Whether you're liberal or conservative, young people should have a choice, right? They shouldn't all be funneled into the woke paradigm. I do think he's wrong. I mean, I don't hear a lot of women complaining that, you know, men don't want to date them. There is a coming sexual apocalypse, though, and it's this, Leland. More women are going to college, and when women go to college, they become very liberal, as opposed to men who kind of, when they go to college, they become, you know, slightly more liberal or remain conservative. And liberal women, very liberal women, no longer want to date conservative men. And so when that gap starts to grow and grow and grow, and there's a lot of very liberal women who don't want to date conservative men, there's going to be a shrinking pool for them to choose from. And then we're going to start seeing real problems. But the data suggests that it's much harder for men right now in the dating market, and that men who can't find a partner are much more unhappy than women who can't find a partner. So I kind of disagree with Charlie's analysis there.
Yeah, I also just sort of think in terms of this weird misogyny that's entered into sort of the Charlie Kirk wing of the Republican Party. But the book that you've written, and it's phenomenal, Class Divide in America, as ill-phrased as what Kirk was saying. There is this notion, right, of the elites betraying a certain population in America. And I'm wondering if at the root of it, that's what he was getting at.
I think so. I mean, I think this idea that the family having a monogamous relationship that begins when you're young, in your 20s, and carries through your life, that idea is very much sneered upon by a certain kind of leftist elite that controls the culture right now in a big way. And a lot of working class people get the trickle-down effects of that. We're seeing the breakdown of the family, and that has both spiritual and psychological and massive economic repercussions, which are very negative to the working class. So children being born out of wedlock, for example, they face a lot of downward mobility, a lot of pressures, and that's terrible. And so we should be encouraging people to get married, both for spiritual and for economic reasons.
Look, it's the worst thing, right, that can happen to a kid almost in terms of predicting their outcome is to be from a single parent household. It's not a statement of feeling. It's a statement of fact. Second Class: How the Elites Betrayed America's Working Men and Women. You talk about a class divide, and I'm wondering how much the class divide in a way mirrors the values divide, right? If you have a working class versus elite divide, how much that mirrors the traditional values versus progressive values divide.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, since Marx, the leftist elites have been complaining that the working class is too conservative for where they want them to be. Like, they want them to support revolution. They don't. All they want are the most modest hallmarks of a middle-class life: a family, a home, a retirement and dignity, choices for their children, right? Whereas the leftists are often involved in these very heady, very extreme wars on these very institutions, the institution of marriage, for example. There's a big divide there.
Thanks for watching. Go to join.na.
So they say it could be a coming sexual apocalypse, basically. Whatever the case may be. Here's what it is. I will say this. That's pretty much the way it goes.
But I do want to hone in because they skimmed over that. He did bring up something. He talked about the birth control. He talked about the birth control.
I knew you would get to that. I knew you weren't going to miss that. I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, they're going to try to ski past that. He's correct with that. That birth control, it changes some of these young women the way they think because it changes your hormones. Your hormones change the way what amino acids and what different hormones that you can produce, right? Did you know that PMC pill can cause typically can cause blood clots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see. It says, what things cancel out birth control methods? Questions. Let me see. Hold on. That's not what I'm looking for. It said what? Okay, what chemicals are in birth control? Let me see what they say. I probably ain't made to read these damn names anyway. Okay, the birth control pill, which is called BCP. Okay, contains man-made forms of two hormones called estrogen and progestin.
Progesterone. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. It says these hormones are made mainly made in the woman's ovaries, right? It says the BCPs can contain both of these hormones, okay? Or have progestin only. It depends, I guess. It depends on what birth control pill or medication that you are actually taking. Now these are artificial hormones that they put in your body. Estrogen, artificial estrogen and artificial progestin that your body normally supposed to make. We know the side effects, man. Gaining weight, right? Which cause what? Sometimes it causes gain weight, cause depression, overeating. That can cause hair loss. Like, so mood swings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, it says, what is the biggest side effect of birth control? Let me see what they say. I'm reading this straight off Google. Whether this Google is 100% correct or not, I'm just reading the synopsis of what they said about it. Let me see. The most common effects are spotting or bleeding, spotting or bleeding between periods. It says this is more common with progestin, I guess, than the estrogen. It says only pills. Let me see. Okay, it says some breasts. Hold on. It says some breast. I don't know what that means. I guess that means that breast grow or something. Nausea or headaches. It says, but they usually go away after 2 or 3 months. So damn. So you mean to tell me between 2 or 3 months they can have all this nausea, headaches, clotting, spotting.
Hey, wait a minute, man.
Nausea.
If you have headaches for a long period of time, you know a headache can actually cause more problem than lying, in your head.
Yeah. Now, so let's talk about it. No, that's when we're talking about the mood swings and the depression and the thoughts, the different thought patterns. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of this artificial stuff, man, come on, man. It's affecting, if the women are not healthy, and they're the ones that's supposed to incubate, you know what I'm saying, the offspring.
The child is not healthy, what you say?
Huh?
Child not healthy inside.
Let's be honest. What you think, Frank?
I just think, man, this shit is fucking wild, man. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It's a lot of, if you think about it too, it's like a lot of chemicals and stuff like this in the foods and stuff, and that we eat and drink too. So they could be contributed to a lot of this stuff too, man. You know what I'm saying? That could mess up the pH balance and all that on these women. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that mess with their hormones too.
So what you think about what they said about this thing about young girls in college, that the more degrees, pretty much what they're saying, the more degrees, the more highly educated they get, their classmates or their peers, the male peers, are less attractive. They are less attractive to their peers or something. Pretty much is what they're saying.
Man, that's I don't know about that, but that's some young thinking right there, man. Because it's like somebody that really, I mean, but at the same time too, you got to look at it like this. Both of them are living that life. You see what I'm saying? That like living for the moment and not for the future type shit anyway, because they both super young. You know, you're 19, 20, you're like 20, early 20s when you're in college. So,
but just say mainly the females and the males. Some of them go to college and become more liberal. My question I always ask: what is the what is the definition of a liberal? What's the definition of a conservative?
Good question. And liberals is free and free this and that and new ways and new ways of this and that and trends and all this bullshit. And then the conservatives, they're basically keep stuff, you see what I'm saying, the way it was, you know what I'm saying, like the older core values and shit, you know what I mean? So, which it seems like a lot of these liberals don't have. I don't know, man. I just think it's a lot of brainwashing too, to be honest with you, man. Because when it comes down to this two-party system, a lot of people brainwashed anyway because they don't know. A lot of people don't do no research on no politics. They don't really know politics like that. They just go about what everybody else, talks about or whatever talking points or whoever is on MSNBC or Fox News. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, look, this is what somebody told me about. I didn't know nothing about it. Somebody told me about it the other day. I want y'all to hear it. This is my last one.
Behind bars after a mass shooting on
Good evening.
I'm Paula Suro.
And I'm Josh Benson. Thanks for being with us for News Channel 8 on CW. Say Wave or Rodarius Green was arrested on weapons charges this morning.
But he was released because he was detained on inaccurate information. News Channel 8's Alessandra Young breaks down the violent week St. Pete has had.
St. Petersburg police say they have had a challenging week of violence in the city, including a mass shooting where 4 people were shot. Officials say that several agencies have been working together, and on Wednesday morning, 3 suspects were arrested here in Manatee County. Easter evening, the St. Petersburg Police Department says 4 people were shot outside of Sonic Sports Bar and Lounge, while everyone survived.
Mentally, they're hurt. Mentally, this community is hurting because we are tired of this senseless shooting in our community.
The violence is taking a toll.
It's any given day. It's around here. You don't know. Something could pop off. Bam. I don't know. Am I going to get back home today? I don't know.
Every day. It hurts. I'm tired. Because I got grandchildren.
Law enforcement arrested 3 people and have warrants on 2 more.
These individuals fired into a crowd. At the scene, we recovered over 60 casings.
Detectives say those arrested belong to a violent group that has been on their radar since March of 2022 for drug trafficking and shootings.
One of the reasons why this came together so quickly is because of the hard work we've been putting into this for the past year.
Police say they're connected to rapper Rod Wave and are living in homes and driving cars registered to the rapper or his record label. They executed searches this week at the properties in Pinellas and Manatee counties and seized weapons, ammo, cash, drugs, and jewelry.
First Puffy down him, right?
We have a group.
And then just get Puffy a couple weeks ago.
And as you can see, that's
we
pretty
don't see it
violent.
though, right?
To be able to shoot that many rounds down range and discriminate anyone could have been anyone in this room that was driving by, going home that night that would have been able to hit
now
the
they're
vehicle.
now they're linking a rapper to mass
Police
shootings
say
now.
right now they do not know if Rod Wave was there.
Attorney for rapper Rod Wave is speaking out for the first time after the St. Pete musician was falsely arrested during a police investigation of a weekend shooting.
And tonight he is speaking with 10 Tampa Bay. Police announced 2 more arrests in this case. The 5 people that you'll see right here on your screen, they are now facing charges connected to the shooting outside of the Sonic Sports Bar and Lounge on 49th Street South Sunday night.
4 people were hurt but are expected to recover. Police say the shooters are connected to a violent group that's known for drug trafficking and other shootings in the area. Investigators tell us members of the group are living in and driving vehicles registered to Rod Wave or his record label. During the search of his Manatee County home, police arrested the rapper and charged him with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. But they later discovered he is not a convicted felon and dropped the charge.
But how can you arrest somebody of that and charge them if he's
not? Police for this
They
Then Rod Wave was arrested, spent a few hours in jail. His mugshot was on national news, and his attorney says none of that should have happened.
It's disappointing that a police officer wouldn't do a better job of doing their homework before they put handcuffs on somebody and take them to jail.
Mark Rankin says it blankly. His client, Rod Wave, was wrongfully arrested when police took him into custody on charges of being a felon in possession of ammunition.
That charge was completely unfounded. It was based solely upon the sworn statement of a law enforcement officer who told a judge that he was in possession of ammunition, which was not true.
Did he get charged with perjury?
Nope. Prior felon, which was not true. In fact, he's never been convicted of any felony.
A spokesperson for the St. Pete Police Department says it was determined after the artist's arrest the charge was inaccurate and he was released. They add they are conducting an internal review of the employee who made the mistake.
Either they didn't do their job by looking and making sure he was a convicted felon, or they knew that he was not a convicted felon and went forward with the case anyway. And I hope that it wasn't the second one.
This all stems from 2 search warrants executed at homes Rod Wave rents in Pinellas and Manatee counties, tied to an investigation into this St. Pete shooting where 4 people were injured. Police say they seized weapons, money, and arrested the 3 men involved at a home where Rod Wave also was.
3 men?
Detectives part of a violent group known as YG or Young Gangsters. Rod Wave has not been charged in connection to the shooting, and Rankin denies his client has any gang ties.
All I can say is that Rod Wave is not affiliated with any gang or any gangs. I can't comment on anything else that the police department's talking about except for what they arrested him for, which obviously even the state and the judge immediately realized that he was not guilty.
Aaron, police are maintaining.
Why do you have that on the news? You see how they do
Yeah, they said
it?
those men have been living in homes and driving in vehicles registered in Rod Wave or his record label's names. They also add this is still an active investigation.
They're not trying to clear his name.
Continue to do some work here.
The media is cold, man. The media be on some damn, man. Like,
hey, yo.
But how could they look? How could they charge you with that? They look you up right then and there. When they arrest you, whatever, they fucking read your rights. They fucking look you up in the database right then and there. They're gonna know if you have a felony or not. They can't. How are they gonna charge you with some shit like something? Don't write that up, man.
Rags to riches, rags to riches, rags to riches. Yo, let me say this, man.
I don't know, man.
Also in New York City, I'm not gonna get to that video tonight, but in New York City, they got squatters that were found with guns and stuff and drugs in the home. So, yeah, I might bring up another day, but yeah, Frank, they're going to talk about this right quick, man, because we gotta get some understanding, man.
It don't make no sense. It's like, what? You know, then they're gonna link them. You know, they're gonna link them to the damn mass shooting. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, and then they find out, you know, he ain't guilty of that. You know what I'm saying? But then I just don't get it. You know, you cannot charge nobody with no possession of no firearm being a felon if they're not a felon. That's just like, and then they were saying, what they say? There was something else they were saying. I kind of like slipped through the tongue. But it just did. The whole thing just kind of sounded kind of like, you know. And you got to honestly, it's crazy because a lot of times if you're in a gang, the police is gonna have you or something under something called gang files. You see what I'm saying? Or gang enhancement. The thing is, was he not? I mean, they said whatever the case is, he has some kind of felony record. Okay, if that was the case. You couldn't see if he was on gang terms or gang files. I don't know. It just don't make no sense. The media is it's the propaganda media, just like Rashawn Green said, man. It's just propaganda. You see what I'm saying? And look, Puffy, didn't they just arrest Puffy a couple weeks ago? Now they, arrested another. But see, my bad, they didn't arrest Puffy. That's the whole point. Didn't they just search his house? My bad. But see, why they arrest this guy this time? For something that they saying he's doing, but they're accusing Puffy of sex trafficking, but they didn't arrest him. And then they're talking about, Puffy is seen in Florida. Puffy is seen over here. Like, okay, So that means to tell me y'all didn't arrest the dude, y'all didn't question him.
Y'all know where he at? Y'all ain't gonna get him.
That's what I'm saying. How you gonna search somebody's houses and you don't even question them? How's that? And then they were accused him of having guns. Okay, like it's illegal to have guns in every 50 state. And then two, if he supposedly have guns illegally, why didn't you arrest him for that? It just don't add. None of this adds up. You just gotta be pay attention because they're using these celebrities as psyops. You see what I'm saying? Using these celebrities as
they're just trying to get Rod Wave some clout, man. But
that it could be that. It could be. Wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I would, because a lot of people haven't heard of Rod Wave. A lot of people have never even heard of him. You see what I'm saying? I barely heard of him recently. But it's just like that's a good point, BJ. I think they are trying to give him some clout. And in the media, I'm telling you, if you down with these establishments and these societies, man, you know what I'm saying? Who's to say? I mean, I ain't gonna try to be funny, but look, Tariq Nasheed was on these Fox News and all this before, and all this a couple times, and all these on the news and all this stuff. So don't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? Certain people, you know, you never know, man. You could be in one of these little societies, and you know, I don't know. I'm just not accusing nobody. I'm just saying, y'all know what I mean.
All right, well, it is what it is. Anybody mad about it? And look, let me bring this up. So I just want to say it's been an excellent show. Drive Home's gonna come on tonight. I don't know, Bishop last night, the blog talk wasn't working. I don't know what's going on with the blog talk. I guess it's they probably tried to say that Facebook and WhatsApp was closed. Was down yesterday for a little bit. You know, they mess with the communication lines. The first step in the war is to knock out the communication. You know that.
And you know what? I think Bishop needs to try to he might need to try to get on YouTube, man. Start his YouTube channel, man. Do his broadcast through YouTube too, man. In case you know. Huh?
It'd be better, man.
It'd be a bad idea.
Yeah, man. I mean, to keep, you know,
because that block they be tripping a lot. Lately, especially lately, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, let's
like.
But on a other note, like I said, it's been an interesting day. I know today they talked about this was 56 or 58 years, 56 or 58 years. It's 56 years since Martin Luther King got assassinated. So you know that was talked about in the media, which is actually 6 years today. My mom died 6 years ago, which is actually interesting. Oh, it's very interesting. That I mean, hey man, actually tell you the truth, I ain't tell you a lie, Frank. Actually, this was one of the first times I ain't really talked about it that much, or even I just thought about it and then I just let it pass, like I said, because I think about it and I look back on it. I said, you know what, man? You know, probably with all this stuff going on today, I don't think more would have been all right with this stuff going on. So I'm actually kind of, at first I was like, you know, it's bad. But it's like, I don't think she would want to live through this crazy stuff. So, that's just the way it is. So, you know, sometimes things play out for a reason. And at the time you don't understand. You don't understand why, or even you're too selfish to, quote unquote, think that's all about you. But sometimes some things happen just so people won't have to deal with this stuff. And then after all this stuff that we've been going the last 4 years or 5, whatever is the case, look, it is what it is. But we got to understand that we're still in the fight, still at war, and that's what it is. Yeah, about 5 years. You're right, bro. Yeah, Rashad agreed 5 years. So, that being said, y'all go ahead and shout the information.
Oh yeah, salute, man. You guys can catch me, as you know, on the old Facebook, Chak Edwards, and Instagram, Chak_Edwards. You know, yeah, that's pretty much where I be at, man. You know.
All right. Go ahead, Frank. Well, hold on. Let me say this. I don't know if you're on mute or whatever.
Oh yeah, my bad. That's a good, my bad. Good information, good show, mad informative. You see what I'm saying? Good topics. Hopefully, we can just all get together one day and just go at the powers that be. You see what I'm saying? And really get stuff going and really be able to make changes that way. But other than that, we'll still, keep the fight like how we doing on here. But you have to catch me at XX Frank Nitty XX on YouTube, and then XX Frank Nitty XX on Instagram, and then Frank Jones 8115 on Instagram. All right, yeah, comment, subscribe to the channel if y'all not, man. Salute.
And shout out to Miss Valerie Denise Jones. She says her uncle died since text this morning. So I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, it's another day in the life. This happens every day. It happens in coming acts all too often. But I mean, what do we do? I mean, like I said, time is the essence. I warned people about this 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not saying that's what caused it with her, but I mean, kind of like when I hear these stories, man, I just go ahead and sit back in the cubicle office or whatever, and I just say, hey, I mean, sometimes you just gotta process everything that's happened, because when you process everything that happened before, you don't even get that much upset about what happened. But it is what it is. But she said she'll be on tomorrow. But maybe not next week. But with the way Blog Talk going, she might not be in tomorrow. I mean, I just told her, hey, if that's something like that go down, just take your time, man. I mean, yeah. But it is what it is. People just be careful, be vigilant, and we got a lot of things to get through. Don't forget, and like that Rod Wave thing, Frank, just before I go, that happened on 331, man.
I'm telling you, man. What else? The other thing happened on 331 too. What else did they say happened on 331 earlier?
Shootings in Indianapolis.
Was it that?
Yeah, they had a lot of mass shootings.
That was something else though. Remember, I was like, it's happened on something else happened on
Transgender Day of Visibility.
Easter. No, on Easter. What happened on Easter? That was something about earlier.
Last day.
Man, this stuff is, these messages.
I know what happened on Easter. I know what happened on Easter. The Pope said that they do a ceasefire on Easter, but I guess after Easter they was back on to it again.
But see, this is what I was saying earlier on the last show, right? This is what I was saying. See, that's how you know it'd be bullshit, because how you gonna come to any kind of ceasefire, any kind of table, or any kind of discussion? Where the motherfucking representative of Hamas at? Where they at? How can we never see them? Where they at? You gotta talk to them, right? Aren't they the motherfuckers that you beefing with? Does it make sense what I'm saying or not? It's like, does that make no sense or not? So see, that lets you know that it's all the same shit. Does that make sense?
Yep. You're right.
Look, you can't come to the table on some ceasefire stuff if you don't have the other party, the person that you're supposed to be have problem with, right there at the forefront, right? See, we don't be. I just, man, dude. But see, that's what the media is there for, to fill in your head with the lies and the propaganda. You know what I mean? So where you're not really thinking, they think for you.
What I'm gonna negotiate with you for? You ain't got no clout.
Right. So that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't got no damn clout. What I'm negotiating with you for?
This is getting out of hand, especially with those jets, or whatever that they want to buy the motherfuckers, or fighters, whatever.
Hey man,
this is getting out of hand. You know what I mean?
I'm worried about the 18 billion. Give me that goddamn money, motherfucker.
Oh no! Oh, the 30 billion. That's what we're talking about. The heist. That's what we were talking about earlier. That was on. That was on Easter.
Yeah.
Damn, them coded numbers, brother. You know what I'm saying? them 33s and them 13s and them 7. You know, it's just like 47. It's just like, I don't know, man. People just got we got to really wake up.
Hey, man, they got $30 million. Like security, most security companies got somebody protecting something like that. What the security is to it is the question.
Exactly. And then there was no alarms that went off and shit. Damn.
But y'all take your time, man.
All right, man. Peace, yo.
Yes, sir.